All right, so a mother was shot in the head by ICE agents in Minneapolis. She's dead. Her child doesn't have a mother anymore. And House Republicans are checks notes deeply concerned about the F word. Not concerned about the extrajudicial killing, mind you. Not concerned about the fact that federal agents executed someone without a trial. No, they're worried about their princess ears. A Democratic congresswoman dares to quote the mayor's actual words that the administration should get the fuck out of Minneapolis, and suddenly it's a constitutional crisis. Meanwhile, an actual dead American citizen? Crickets. Not even a moment of silence. Not even the bare minimum acknowledgement that someone's life was taken. So here's what happened. During a House Judiciary Committee markup session on January 8th, Representative Jasmine Crockett of Texas stood up to address something that Republicans were hoping everyone would just ignore. The fact that federal agents shot and killed a woman named Renee Nicole Good in Minneapolis. Crockett used her time to call out the committee's complete indifference to this death, and in quoting the mayor of Minneapolis, she used the phrase, "Get the fuck out." Watch what happens next, because the Republican response tells you everything you need to know about their priorities. As usual, let's watch what happened, and I'll give you my take on it later.
Into fatal ICE shooting.
The gentlelady from Texas is recognized to strike the last word.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I'd ask to strike the last words.
The gentlelady is recognized.
Thank you so much. It is so hard to sit here sometimes because I didn't come to Congress to write laws or to do things that are hurting people. I'm just asking if there's any decency or heart or courage on that side of the aisle. The fact that a woman was killed, she was shot in her head, and y'all are pretending like nothing happened. I remember when Charlie Kirk got killed. Do you remember what our response was? Our response wasn't to sit there and pretend like it was okay. Is it okay because you have a badge? Because the last time I checked, allegedly no one is above the law. Can y'all not just have a little bit of courage and humanity? A child. A child has lost her mom. And y'all want to pretend that it is okay. I am asking if there is anyone that will stand for the very people that elected us and sent us to Congress. You tell us things like, well, the immigrants are bad, and so we got to get all these bills because the immigrants are the ones that are causing the harm, they're bringing the crime. The mayor of Minneapolis told y'all to get the fuck out. Yet y'all are the ones, it is this administration that is bringing crime to their streets. That's what's happening.
It's the third incident where somebody has dropped an F-bomb in this committee, including the video.
I'm sorry.
Including the video that we had to watch earlier.
Are your princess ears okay?
Is it profanity?
But
The
you're
princess
more
ears
upset
offended.
about my
The
words than
committee-
you are about the fact that a woman
Are you
was
soft?
killed.
House of Representatives.
The gentlelady
Are we
will
offending your
suspend
princess ears? Are they that soft?
All members will
Maybe some of the
suspend.
kids out there.
Mr. Chairman, it is the
You're
gentlelady's
killing
time.
them.
Kids.
It is the gentlelady's time. Let's let her have her time.
It is the gentlelady's time. Would you stop the clock for a moment? Okay, and
That was the quote.
I'll restore that. The chair will remind all members that the person controlling the time is not to be unreasonably interrupted. We would further admonish that whenever possible to express the full meaning of something, it be done so without an expletive that may be offensive to people here in the audience or those who watch this on television. I understand that a quote at times is essential, but I would admonish everyone that it has been the practice of this committee for the many years I've been here to use such things as F-bomb in order to get the message out without actually using the word. Notwithstanding that, the gentlelady will be recognized for this time plus an additional 20 seconds. The gentlelady may continue.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Long story short, we are sitting in judiciary and no one on that side of the aisle seems to care that this particular person, whose name we don't know at this point, became the judge, jury, and executioner. I don't know how you square that. And then we're sitting here literally in markup for a bail funds bill. When I first ran for office, it was in the midst of yet another lynching by law enforcement in Minneapolis. At that time, it was George Floyd. I remember working as a pro bono criminal defense attorney to help protesters that were being arrested. There were more than 600 protesters that were arrested in Dallas. There were churches that came together to make sure that there were bail funds. There were nonprofit organizations. And to explain how it works for bail, since we're in judiciary and we're writing the laws, and some people may not understand this, but those bail funds, those nonprofit organizations are not the ones that determine whether or not somebody gets bail. What they do is they help out poor people, which I know y'all are not interested in either. But they help out people that aren't rich and famous and have limitless amounts of money, like all of the Epstein defendants who somehow y'all can't find, even though y'all went and got Maduro. But it helps out those people to be able to get out of jail. Many of those people that if they spend just a couple of days in jail will then be thrust into straight up poverty because they will lose everything. Why it is that you want to criminalize people such as churches that are trying to help the poor because they understand what the Bible says, and they don't just say that they understand it or say that they love Jesus, but they decide that they actually put it into works because faith without works is dead. That is wrong too. And I'm here to tell you that there's gonna be a lot of nonprofit organizations that are gonna step up in this moment because there are gonna be protests around this entire country because of the state-sanctioned execution that we all saw unfold, unless there is some kind of justice that takes place and we get the name of that officer and that officer is prosecuted. So I ask that law enforcement, we have oversight over them. I am the oversight ranker. Let's go ahead. In fact, I make a motion that we have a hearing in the oversight subcommittee as it relates to this particular issue and what took place.
The gentlelady was not recognized for purposes of motions. Does anyone else seek recognition? Seeing no others.
Notice the strategy here. It's not an accident. The second Crockett mentions profanity, Republicans pounce, not to address the substance of what she's saying, not to acknowledge the dead woman, not to grapple with the fact that federal agents killed an American citizen. No, they pivot immediately to tone policing. This is the playbook they always use when they can't defend the indefensible. Make it about how she said it, not what she said. Because if you engage with the substance, if you actually have to defend why you're fine with federal agents executing people, you lose. So instead, you create a distraction. You turn the conversation into a debate about civility and decorum. You act wounded. You clutch your pearls. You ask if her princess ears are okay. And here's why this tactic works. It shifts the burden. Suddenly, Crockett's the one who has to defend herself. She's the one being admonished by the chair. She's the problem, not the killing. Not the lack of accountability, not the complete absence of oversight. Her language. That's what matters. That's what gets the attention. Meanwhile, the actual issue, a dead American citizen gets buried under a procedural squabble about committee decorum. It's like objecting to someone yelling fire in a crowded theater on the grounds that they didn't use their inside voice. This is the same crowd, by the way, that spent years defending a president who bragged about grabbing women by the pussy, who called countries shitholes, who told congresswomen of color to go back to where they came from, who mocked a disabled reporter, who called people horseface and dogs and low IQ. But now they're the guardians of civil discourse. Now they're deeply concerned about propriety. Now profanity is a bridge too far. The hypocrisy is so thick you could cut it with a knife, though they'd probably object to your grip on the handle. Here's what this reveals about them. They know they can't defend the killing. They know there's no good answer to why are federal agents shooting American citizens in the head. So they do what they always do. They change the subject. They make it about her. They make it about process. They make it about anything other than the dead woman lying in Minneapolis. because engaging with that reality would require them to do something they're fundamentally incapable of, admitting that maybe, just maybe, unchecked law enforcement power is dangerous, that maybe badges don't grant the right to kill without consequences, that maybe law and order should actually include accountability for the people enforcing the law. And notice what Crockett does throughout this. She's asking for basic human decency, just acknowledgement that someone died, just a willingness to have a hearing, just the bare minimum of oversight, and she gets nothing. Silence. Deflection. Procedural objections. The message is clear. We don't care, we're not going to care, and we're certainly not going to let you make us care. That silence is strategic. Don't engage with the substance. Don't give it oxygen. Focus on the style, the tone, the process, anything but the actual issue. Because the moment you engage, you've already lost. So what does this mean for you? It means that when federal agents show up in your city, your neighborhood, your street, they can kill someone, and the people who are supposed to provide oversight won't even bother to ask questions. They'll just pretend it didn't happen. They'll treat it like background noise. Like it's not worth their time. Like when your boss tells you the company values work-life balance while scheduling mandatory meetings at 8 p.m. Your representatives, the people you elected to protect your rights, will be more concerned about whether someone said a curse word than whether you're safe from extrajudicial execution. Zoom out for a second. What does it say about our democracy when Congress can't even hold a hearing about federal agents killing an American citizen? What does it say when oversight, the most basic function of the legislative branch, is completely optional? What message does that send to every authoritarian regime watching this unfold? That America doesn't actually care about accountability, that we'll abandon our principles the moment they become inconvenient, that our commitment to justice is purely performative, it's self-defeating. You can't claim to be the champion of freedom and democracy while refusing to investigate your own government killing its citizens. And for what? What are they protecting here? What's so important that it justifies ignoring a dead American? Is it border security? No, because nothing about this incident made anyone safer. Is it law and order? Please, there's nothing orderly about federal agents executing people without trials. Is it some grand principle about federal authority? Come on. The real reason is simpler and more pathetic. Ego. Power. The refusal to admit that maybe they got it wrong. The inability to hold their own side accountable. That's what a human life is worth to them. This is the same crew, remember, that couldn't even get Mexico to pay for a wall. So maybe we shouldn't be shocked that basic accountability is beyond their capabilities. This isn't about civility. This is about power. This is about whether the people we elect will do their jobs when it matters. The question isn't whether Jasmine Crockett should have used different language. The question is, why are Republicans more afraid of the F word than they are of federal agents killing American citizens? Because right now, they've made their priorities crystal clear, and those priorities have nothing to do with justice, accountability, or the sanctity of human life. I guess when your house is on fire, some people really will complain about the firefighter's tone. Before you go, if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more and support independent media, please subscribe to this channel. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching.